agency CA omo astarte the blame kwakoto foreign affairs minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa so because CA omo hu ne say nsembia papa ne keka ma some confidential security information papa no ede etu dwa ma amanfo eti bi ma omo hu say empo December attack United States of America omo elanche ewo the northern part of Nigeria precisely Sokoto side honum no na otiremu na Ghana ye hye bi na ema sa attack no anase bombing no successful ema enra ye the updates bra mu kiremu asese no update menka na say base dodo na e Ghana ha no na United States o ma be yusu na omo e de ato a omo dwumadi omo di anase omo missile attacks a omo de ekọ Nigeria e de fight ISIS ene omo dwumadi omo die na the new patriotic party akosua menu ono so edi nsema ba betudwa na mami waye adwuma Rebecca Akufo-Addo the former first lady of the Republic of Ghana no oye the communications team lead ewo honom na odinsema betudwa kiremu a ensemu a Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa honorable foreign affairs minister edikoto tudwa kiremu say yes Nigeria for contact Ghana, US for also contact Ghana. It was a joint contact and omo edbre Ghana kiremu say on person omo ne to kese ewo US omo dwumadi a omo edi ewo Nigeria no na omo set up omo base and as omo base ewo Ghana hadada no omo launch omo missile attacks no from here ediko Nigeria enti papa ne den nsam ne tudwa no amanfo dodo na omo ani enje ho a maame no wakasa edi etia nsam a Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa release ye no ewo ho kiremu se ISIS omo ebe attack Ghana na kire se nsema papa ne kan no na yi Ghana fo ama yenko ne ngotie akosua menu ne nsema odi tudwa ne mra sese.
Then we come to the recklessness of the foreign minister. The indiscretion of the foreign minister. Indiscretion. Me pesa me kan wo twi mu a the only word that comes to mind so me kan sa twi no platform is so one show na me didi natem.
Now why
a foreign minister gets to sit at the highest level on a lot of security boards. On your briefings are sabi rumor. They don't need to tell you say your oath of security bounds you not to disclose any matter that is discussed within the confines of the room. Uti area upia watu wano padlock wasum obi bisa okra wontie okotsna Chatham House in the video and disclose say the Christmas Day bombing
of ISIS there no.
Yes. Yen collaborate with the US. Asem we kan wen. Asem we kan wen. Obi me no uti ha. Na I know one of your favorite destinations is Dubai. Unkan share me but me sure we ni ma Dubai. Iran roped in countries and fired at them because the US had used their bases to attack them. Not that they had a direct or your friends say in Tokwa with those countries, but just by the mere fact that the US used their base to come at them. There are hotels that yes, I've traveled before, far and wide, yes. Places that I would have felt the safest in this country. Just say debris and drone friends saying hitting these facilities. All because a country feels say if the US is getting up to fight us, so we'll fight them. And by any means necessary, we are going to blur the lines of diplomacy. Into what Ghana now got Chatham House. Now you mean say there's this need to assert himself, to feel say important to at any point in time. Honorable Ablakwa has to talk and give information and who here. Your national security coordinator, your national security minister. What was that information for? I mean, ISIS, See, I can say you are in the crosshairs of a terrorist group. What validation do they even need to go and attack anybody? Than to even have a reason that maybe a 2 year land and I'm on massa circumference, massa area, and I'm be position here strike here. Do you know the danger we are in?
But don't you think, say, he made those comments within a certain context?
What context?
So we, out of the context, that you may not be fair to him.
What context?
Into the context, say.
What question occasioned that answer?
Into the fact, say, Ghana's foreign policy position.
I have never heard a foreign minister disclose details of an attack ever within the African continent. Mintibida. He sat on a public forum. Diplomacy a nuance though. This is a sledgehammer to our reputation.
Asempa FM.
Diplomacy a kasa. Sometimes crampono. Look, Miss Susu said on my paying John Mahama. Tamasa video beto by now because Waku Nigeria did that to start backroom discussions. Yes. At the barest minimum. All the security services should by now be listening in on chatter. There's no conversation. As some free Americans say yes, Remo. Onoka. Mi hudia me debe manu say. Nano akopa. This is not the first time, and I definitely will not be the last until they recall him. Nano akopa. Check it. What these terrorist cells and groups, whether Ghana is in the conversation. Obi, the only thing we have going for us as a country, dear Koma ye wo Ghana high stability. Stability. Nanu ya mumu ba power in the history of this country. 300 refugees, Ejane ako your friends in Burkina. Are they back?
They were more than 300.
More than 300.
They were in their thousands.
Indeed, and even that was a homegrown issue. Amanyo semia no mujane ye no mode koe. Ejatomono. Now even media crampon has been silent. They were largely silent on it. It was friends and family of the people who had absconded to another country. Sebi, asumdrena ye won, you can't trade it for anything. Me bese metna brochu. Ghana ye me de pa. I don't want to go and live out there. They do went and cover muko near the Nancy storms, snowstorm near dear, shoveling snow near the Chesobeko, a Juma, Soko penchini, a good snow, so nanny now they shovel for what? Na Ghana has some jail, Mosimo Pepa, ye dear mamo. If it's not disappointing, over 500,000 young people at a time with no alternative, not just say, yeah, in safety, the safety of this country, with the foreign minister sworn to secrecy. Ukodin komo even on local soil and beka. It's either say Jumano Sosino. Your former foreign minister Shelia Yokubuchi, did you ever see her engulfed in any reckless talk and Bibi? Or Babi when this CB or no more for foreign minister position man is here. I bet you, because what is happening now, the government should call a cabinet meeting, emergency meeting. They should trace every platform on Ablakwa Kotinaso. And vet what his utterances were. Whether he committed Ghana to something, either inadvertently, and now say, Chese, Nanokopai, they need to trace every single area he's been, especially in the Sahel. Because he's exposed us big time. And ye bibia, Sebi, I say, and say, oh, Nanokopa, Nanompaye. Oh, Otiwa Okasano, I say, yeah, big man. America called me and consulted me, really. Now you're not on your minister and come for day.
That's a big man.
It's not that they even called him. I'm friend said, dang, on what? In what was his capacity for being consulted?
As the foreign minister of Ghana.
Foreign minister, no more called him
a secretary of state. Onyeni
Paketwa. Internet emotional intelligence is key. Knowing what to say, when to say, what platforms to divulge information. If your information now can cry 100%, and 2% now the better abonting. Because sometimes you even have to manage fear. Riot Acts and they need to read it to him. Because I'm sure he's in violation of it. The fear that has been unleashed, because look,
ISIS from Bombay and
you know, for the longest time, there are countries that the very first time I called Kenya, I think this was 2018 or so.
Yes.
Before you get through the first security checkpoint, usifi kamu, kana otimo, usifim, you leave your bag and everything, and you walk. If they could even get you to walk barefoot and come here. Why? Because there was a terrorist attack in Kenya.
Yes.
Kenya was safe at some point. But due to that, everything changed. It's like 9/11. 9/11, see, you know, the travel became so obi. Oh, to kwanya ube share jeans, ball belt. Okay, after 9/11, just say ube row, do America, robi bia. It made traveling so inconvenient. But yayama say yakukwai. Into obi sorry fi Ghana, ekotna Chatham House. The question up to now, I'm saying that information he volunteered was reckless and needless. Nothing warranted the occurrence, you know. And so let's not downplay it. Meaning pass anke o man paying for na president na honorable Ablakwa do na. By the time obedu hotel room there will be a dismissal letter for him. Without a doubt. Nani Kufuado, former president Otiasi. This never happened. In the 8 years, in fact, Utie Honorable John Jinapo presser yesterday, in the 8 years of a friend saying Nanado's administration, there was never any agreement. There was never any discussion, agreement as far as I'm concerned. Say be allow Americans to operate whatever ways from here. There was no such thing.
Military base.
Mind you, what the ancient Trump any Iran war when he fired, when they took off with the drone attacks and the missiles and all that, there was a tweet by Pelosi. Said it's illegal because Congress was not consulted.
Yes.
Because per the rules, per the constitution, there are rules of engagement before a country decides to take up any action. Oh, man, pingu sorround opa. Nebia ya bro kokona joa was a kokoninti. Meninji inti and enko 2 bombs. You don't do that. Into a flouty in the same way Ablakwa now kind, there are parliamentary rules. There was no communication. There's nothing unless say honorable Bagman Becca say your friend kukwemu say this is what is going to happen, so manage it. There is no such. I'm saying that
to go and bomb ISIS.
This compromise has put the Ghana share the crosshairs of terrorism. Do fear sema yeka say yempe en ho asem we are peace loving hwe koimu among governance we still have a reason to smile. We still have a reason to be happy despite what we are suffering, despite the challenges. Now foreign minister kotsna obi man so. Now I can say or the Christmas Day bombing then just say me share video now Eeii, like what gets you to be so reckless?
But if
this is not politics, so
I get it. But if the ISIS and say terrorism scare no a real in our sub-region, na Ghana or the military might to want to engage in something proactive. Ebe yisa scare everywhere emra be. Why is it wrong? Why do you think it's wrong?
Ghana will do something proactive.
Yes, because the whole action was to
before
take
you
out
get
ISIS.
Before you moralize or find a justification for this question, there are several boxes that have to be ticked. First of all, was it an emergency? Was it an emergency? Hasn't Nigeria been having this issue for so long? Nigeria, within the West African sub-region, we are big brothers, so yes. Their economy is 5 times, 10 times ours. Who share NASDAQ? Who share anything Bloomberg near there? Anytime they are talking, in New York, in London, the next conversation they're going to have is Nigeria. They are big, they are mighty. Ivory Coast score more economy class. Do you think that their foreign minister will go and sit somewhere and even volunteer such information? So what is to position Ghana? Say we are so collaborative. One Ablakwa one issue statement to a senator in the US and another diplomatic gaffe against us. So why do we want to almost side NDC? They should call for an emergency meeting, even in Parliament. Both sides should collaborate and pull him to Parliament to answer questions, because the boxes they are supposed to tick at the very least, it wasn't an emergency either for our country. It wasn't. The issue that was happening in Nigeria is slaughtering of innocent. Ghana, a friend say these girls that were Chibok me cause how work nibi me Michael Kwe Jr. or menchen yabu. I remember my friends, we walk from Rage. That video I believe is even on my Facebook. So it is not new. They have been fighting this thing. And for Ghana, our sense of pride is in our stability and our safety.
No nsɛm a akɔhya menu de etudwa ɛwɔ hɔnom na wobebisa ho sɛ nsɛm bɛn na honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa de tudwa enti ama mame akɔhya menu former communications team lead de ma Rebecca Ekufu Ado ɛwɔ hɔnom no nsɛm bɛn na ɔde tudwa quickly ne yɛnkɔ nsɛm a ɔde tudwa ɛwɔ Chatham ɛwɔ London a ɛno nti ama mame ɛbɔ n'akyi sa ne yɛnkɔ ne yɛnkɔ tie nsɛm no ne yɛmmra sisiɛ.
Well, everybody knows that Ghana has a defense cooperation agreement with the U.S. Approved by our parliament, and not only with the U.S. but with many other strategic partners, including the U.K., a number of Gulf states. We do these things in our strategic national interest, and we are also careful to draw the lines. And so there's a red line. We do not accept military bases in our country. And I'm sure that what is happening in the Middle East now vindicates Ghana's position. We have historically prevented Western powers from establishing military bases in our country. And I believe that those who initially were not sure why Ghana was very stern about this position now appreciate that. Having said that, we also take the view that any cooperation, any intervention must be on a case-by-case basis, and there has to be express approval. So the recent attacks in Nigeria, the Nigerians will confirm to you that they invited the Americans, and they also reached out to Ghana to collaborate.
The Nigerians?
Yes, both the Nigerians and the Americans. So that's how we are playing this out. Sovereignty has to be respected. Territorial integrity has to be respected. You must be invited. And we must all agree on the scope of the intervention, because we do not want this to lead to another Venezuelan situation or some other, geopolitical matter, because sovereignty is important, territorial integrity is important. We must know exactly what the scope is, what you are coming to do, the nature of the intervention. It's very, very important. I mean, our citizens would not forgive us, and legitimately so, if we just, take away their sovereignty and allow external elements to just come in and do whatever they want.
All right, and in some way, and Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa edi tuja ewo Chatham, ema enunti ama akosha menu ebonechi. Na people, a lot of people, almost so ewo few say, ebema ama eye ISIS for ne tip off say, enti no krese Ghana, mona mo share chire, mo bo eye US for chidomo, omo etimi launch missile attacks from eye Ghana ha to Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria. Emma omu camp eskata any ade, you will become an enemy to terrorist groups no enunti ama omu minkana zambi before they abetu just say base bibisa esipe na just say honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa ene kote Ghana for to say mu ka ho bi na moma asa na ema nyina esi ye enti omu astarte ka wonsem wo honom quickly ne yento aso na yemfa update no emamo Esiedu Nketia, the general, and I say, ono na chairman, Edema, the National Democratic Congress, NDC. Nancy recruitment saga, and I say recruitment in some way, also over 500,000 applicants. I found 5,000 penal. Papa ne di nsembia betu jama amount for train Australia ambassa. Ebi mu hu ne say presidential hopeful. Pa na oka sa nsem wei wo ho no. Ene nsem odi tu dwa no ebi mu ekire mu a eni kwa kra senka papa no edi tu dwa. Etoda no okasa edi yi nsem kwa sebe okasa light heartedly wo ho. But then asem wei okan de ehye nipa ebufuo, ema nipa ebufu because amount for ebi mu ekwan omo fa so a omo antimi enya military men can say security forces no man yamu kwan no very disheartening and is also be cancer where the to so na say mabunu na o man nya adwuma no o sa hye o mabufuo ense me na papa na di tudwa yenko tie ni emra ye ba e di mu nchemu dodo na be mamo
say
security services ye ka say ye ban mu ye afa nipa no bi akom but no kure wo ho ne say nipa a wo fa wo mo adwuma no esese wo sika timitua wo mo ka afi we ye buye police adwuma yi say obi a apply no police nko nipa a wo mo apply ya na omo nyina ye betimi afa omo nyina adwuma no 500,000 nipa mako 500,000 obi pe police na ko wram ye bisa e won say 500,000 ni se ska wo hompo na ye fa mu nyina adwuma mu a na mu nyina ma be police fo a ehefo na mbakwa akoche wo bwana mbakwa akoche wo nipa no nyina obi akodi police enti why na akoche na ezu na nokre wo ne say
some way and said Ketia, General Mosquito, the chairman for the for NDC, or the two John, Padona, who say, there be penny Casasa, because and then somewhere Koba, a month for starting advocate Senka, or more, young for Munumponki, every fan do Musika Momo, because 500,000 as against 5,000 year, Emu Remo, honest also the Betuja, say a year, Nipa 500,000 year for Munina, wine. And they become quite no. Second, we say, Papa no advocate for a year thievery. I will Ghana Hana say a crown for some. I will Ghana have because I was seeing your police form better crown for anti Faka Krebi. No more Macano or Mudio Mako Dania crown for now police for a crane form or more aquaculture. That is the kind of man can say anti the money Padona a deba. Now, or say Jina baby, your baby back and work as handsome way. Or say Jina another platform so the same thing. And when the man for who said no, the way Papa no Ekasano, ebi mu say presidential hopeful on Kasasa. Yes, Uncle Tie, the other side of Papa no Samuel the two jar among for a bonnet in Emrasi.
Eco police 500,000 and then 5,000 when you 50,000 500,000 and now one more empire Eco police. And you check 500,000. Na say yesi obia ope kwai akumdom. Yemfa. Yemfa police for 500,000. Ehe fa na ombenya krom for crash chiwo. Ehe for na e ko chiwo. Ye nyina ya koye police. Enti why and never continue. It is how your president. Nanipa 500,000 say, Obia petrol go police ya. Obey no day. Make a so. Police in your say, Ocha let a man no worry. As I say, follow now, Pesica, or the Betrianica. Open baby, obey. Enti yebu sa konta no let us say nipa ye betimi afa wo mo afiwe just 5,000 500,000 and a year you move 5,000 and ya the idea for so when they do a minister there the man say go you 5,000 free 500,000 over bread. And unti yenina yenim say ye youth no one more pay sa security no awuram let's say ye deny one more unti no ama pressure no about the boss anipa 500,000 obi ha epe police wo awura ye nyanka soja de o soja de so wo fire service de wo and then the crowd. Enti nipa 5,000 yes sanity woman. And no nama problems ya ye kan nyina. akwa enti muntaka ono so bre ya friend ne na kasa ono so cheche na semu na ya asem kese IGP say ne IGP bye onye nipa obeya de ahye da say oyiyi mu ama NDC for ho akyewo but ade no so na wo chicha eno ne hofa problem eno nti 5,000 2025 recruitment I mean charge afibia e be sisi ya shase to sikasemo a ekoye kakranka pre nim say afi we dia ya wura mu enu be October no mo ye besa bie na ebia said this kasem to ye ebia na afi ye timi afa the dawson eche 5,000 na also eguso a afibia ye increase economy ma ebetimi afa nipa be Ghana for security services no ako betimi afa one na uye no free ha no credit da ho pa ni se abaya krachi juma obia ye betwira appointment ya ma no se onkoye abaya juma oman bia nipa otimi ye no sa enu ti se oman koso a eduru ba bia economy no koso pa no ube se abana timi aye nsisi bia ma ankura adwuma emfaso abamu eche se obeye abaya adwuma enti uko America ni UK ni Canada no mo nipa bebre mpe abaya adwuma o if you say our private sector ye adwuma the country so change ye wa.
All right, enti ensem ni bi na osa ekotie ye ewo ho a na ebi mu echire mu a it looks as if say the government is compromising the security ewo Ghana ha because ye fa security for ne saying ye form say ye hia say ye form because ye de ombe kwa kodi dwumaso bi enye se tua ye betimi atu omo ka ene ye form ewo honom enti na nipa dodo na they felt say ensem a the NDC national chairman Eddie Etudja about the fact that ochiremu nipa 500,000 ye femu 5,000 honorable muntaka ne ho chire no because nipa ne dɔɔso na omu enhu ba bi omu emfa ensem ne mfa no na nipa ne hu ne se enye sa na wo se nka papa yi otimi ekyerɛkyerɛ ne nsɛm ɛwɔ hɔ no mu a ɔde ne nsɛm etudwa ɛwɔ ɛhɔ no ntia no any national chairman for the NDC ne nsɛm ɔde tudwa amanfo dodo na ɛbɔ n'echi ɛwɔ hɔ no no the transport minister enso so eden sema betudwa na nse enche na hit and run bi si ye e wo Ghana ha se ya enu tie ma abranche bi free mu ya ebesi na ye hu nipa ode ka ebo abranche no ma ni free mu e wo hodom na se ode sema betudwa kire mu a omo edi automated cameras ebe bobo amanfo bi cars mu eni ade na omo di bi so street lights a ewo ekwan so no omo edi bi so ebe abebo mu a ekire mu a ebetimi aboa na monitor hawa omo etwi hyen ewo Ghana ha sei no ebetimi monitor movement ne ade ekwan omo fa so eyisu ye car kwan no ne sede omu esi edi omu di omu juma in relation to other drivers any ade enti ordinance etudwa ekire mu se esa ne ma nyina ya ade a transport ministry no omu edi ebegu akwan mu se de be ye betimi aboban ewo ye kwan so any ade enti ye quickly ye enkotie honorable Joseph Nikpe ne nsem odi tudwa about CCTV cameras a ye de bebo street lights ho na etimi akebe crime on our roads.
All the indications are that Ghana Police with the National Road Safety Authority will start a serious training, serious education on how this technology is going to be deployed. This technology will be deployed to help the police with an invisible eye. That the police, as human as we are, when they are on the road, they will not be able to see everything. But having vehicles with cameras, automated, and motorbikes, and some fixed permanently on our roads, they will be able to detect any crime that is committed on our roads. we believe that it will be able to regulate how you on daily basis use the road in respect with other road users. We have to bring down the kind of fatalities that we record on yearly basis on our roads. And one of the things to do and to reduce this carnage on our road is to use technology to assist our police to bring discipline on our roads. So we are happy that the police are ready, National Road Safety Authority, they are ready, DVLA, they are ready, and very soon, His Excellency John Dramani Mohamed's plan of bringing sanity on our roads and also reducing the accident, the fatality rates on our roads will be brought to fruition, and people will see it in work actually, not just by talking on daily basis. We have moved from a point of having a good legal framework that will guide all of us. You understand why laws are made, to be obeyed and respected. And in order to ensure good enforcement, we have Traffic Tech Ghana to work with all the agencies of the Ministry of Transport, and it is our belief that it will make the law effective and efficient when we are implementing it.
All right, and that was the Transport Minister, Honorable Joseph Nikpe, and ordinance to Jachiremua. Yes, see idea. Omo ebeboa na omo boban we yakwan so said crimes are ekoso e we yakwan so car snatching any hit and run in ma ekoso the way our people are driving recklessly in or another on our roads no ni nyina they will try their best on be kebi ni nyina, so they are collaborating with other companies omo ebeboa na new street lights are omo installing no omo ebe make sure say omo the CCTV cameras ebe bubom say the beya ebetimi the akebe crimes ekoso ewo yakwan so nyina ewo ehonomo. Yes, that is the update ye de mamo ewo ho ye beto aso na ye the update no de amamo. Ghana Airports Company Limited the ensembia betu dwachiremu McDan group of companies omo terminating McDan aviation FBO deal over unpaid debt. Ghana Airports Company Limited has terminated its fixed-based operation agreement with McDan Aviation Handling Services Limited following unpaid license fees. So that is the update. Yede eba na echiremu over 4 years ni ena McDan Aviation Handling Limited omo omo can say omo entua omo license fees enti no ama omo I revoke omo license because contract ni mu no you make sure say each and every period be also renew license no just as a year driving license and SCT no pretty a year say private jet business ni nyina also unya license would be operations no and for a period of time if you don't pay na say was say omo men can say omo revoke edi free honum and no and as see ama on our screens McDan Group Ghana Airport Company Limited omo terminating omo aviation FBO deal over unpaid debt. And any update no na Transport Minister and some way nyina mu no ono so ba bonten de betu dwachiremu a omo operating different services. They are into contract with Ghana Airport Company Limited. Omo eto kese e was a brano oko na yebeya wo audit mu za onema onkrata nyina de da kwam eju betimi ato aso na waye wadwuma no omo ebehye mu kena because se oni omo ye adwuma na se edru se o se okoye review ana se o se utua o license na se edru period na wantua omo be make sure say omo ebe ma wason ayehye e wo hono nti Transport Minister wants all service contracts at Accra International Airport will be held to high delivery standards. Delivery wajuma wo ye dia mo no be make sure say your standards are of high quality na say e wo say wo renew license ni ade a wo be renew yenkotie Honorable Joseph Nikpe nsem odi tudwa on omo they are into contract with Ghana Airport Company Limited niemra CCA. Yes ye beko ni akwakotie ye honorable nsem odi etudwa na we mu nyina na lead yi to McDan group no omo aviation private jet operations Ghana airport and as Accra International Airport ma ye revoke omo license no ho nti ye be ko ne akwa kotie honorable minister ne nsem odi tudwa ne yaba beto aso amamo.
Well, as a government and an airport, we operate with rules and regulations. When you are given a contract, the contract has its terms, it has its conditions, and so every business person will have to obey or go by the contract terms that you have signed. I wouldn't want to make government and private issues public, but what I can tell the whole public is that if you are operating with Ghana Airport Company, for that matter government, you have a license to do that. The question is to ask yourself, have you renewed your license for the past 4 years? If you haven't done so, it is not anybody's making. Have you paid the relevant taxes or fees that you are supposed to pay to government for the past 1.5 years? If you haven't done that, that should not be anybody's problem, because you just need to refer to your contract and see that the contract dictates certain things to be done. And if they are not done, as a government and the Ghana Airport Company, we hold the right to either continue or revoke whatever contract we have with you when you have defaulted. And so I wouldn't want to go into my details, but what I know is that we had a license for him to operate a private jet. It is over 4 years that license is not renewed, and I'm not sure you will work with any company or any group that has not renewed their license. So that is what I will say for now.
And yes, and Chiremu any akwakoje over 4 years and honorable Chiremu McDan group omo renew omo license and for omo private jet operations Ghana has say entine no ehun be hia na se Ghana Airport Company Limited and so on be revoke omo license omo dey operate private jet Ghana has say no nti ye be hwe dey omo so ba na Ghana Airport Company Limited omo a statement eba abonten a back ensem a yede ema mu yi eti quickly ne yebekọ ne akwakohwem ensem be ne wom. Are they having any other details apart from the yede mamu na yebekọ ne ahwem sesi na yede update no e de amamu nti we Ghana Airports omo Company Limited, Ghana Airports Company Limited omo release omo de buy ti o statement on the termination of the FBO agreement between Ghana Airports Company Limited and McDan Aviation Handling Services Limited. In August 2022, a license agreement was executed between Ghana Airports Company Limited, GACL, and McDan Aviation Handling Services Limited for the provision of fixed base operation services at designated areas within Terminal 1 of Kotoka International Airport. In 2022, and I'm executing operations here at the license. At the McDan Aviation for no say me operate a private jet. Terminal 1 of the Kotoka International Airport. As at that time, now Kotoka International Airport. Since 2022. Also, under the terms of the agreement, McDan Aviation Handling Services Limited was required to make payments to Ghana Airport Company Limited in the form of license fees, royalties, and rent. However, beginning in 2022, the company defaulted on its payment obligations. In late 2024, following several unsuccessful attempts by Ghana Airport Company Limited to recover outstanding indebtedness, access to Terminal 1 was restricted. McDan Aviation subsequently settled the outstanding arrears covering the period from 2022 to 2024, after which the terminal was reopened to their use. Since 2022 to 2024, and almost started almost for a payment, renewal of license, and a rent. Use the handler Terminal 1 hono mu store omu planes omu adwuma na edrumre bi momu tua bi omu sa bie hono momo na efri hono esa besi the same way no say 4 years ni no omu ensan tua bi bio hono mu na ekire mu say emo revoke omu license na omu esa to handler nim anasa omu sa to Terminal 1 nim hono na McDan omu ababonti omu so reply aba and someone about Ghana Airport Company Limited, they are so revoke your license any day because our private jet no man for behind take it off from Terminal 1 ekodi ni dwuma amanfo behind to sika ne ade McDan so omo de omo reply aba eno ene wo screens no so McDan Aviation. McDan Aviation Limited responds to Ghana Airport Company Limited's actions in license dispute. And which means a buy and chain. McDan Aviation Limited, Ghana's first indigenous provider of fixed-base operation services, which wishes to address recent developments surrounding the Ghana Airport Company Limited that constitute an attempt to collapse its business as well as a disregard for judicial processes affecting the issue. So someone Ghana Airport Company Limited, they are about to just say omu edge your license because so only license it will affect your business. It may affect your business. Among for entimi mba behind with private jet no driver only license. Obi enu obepe so obefro ne car. Enti almost so edi omo nsem aba betudwa omo kiremu omo ya be start judicial process bi o say McDan Aviation invested millions of dollars to develop Ghana's first private FBO terminal at the Accra International Airport Terminal 1, operating under a landmark license agreement signed in August 2022. This facility has elevated Ghana's standing as a premium aviation hub, driving private business aviation, tourism, and investment inflows for 5 years, including periods when the facility was non-operational. McDan Aviation consistently met its rent obligations in good faith. For 5 years, you know, into operation, no, almost your mutual musicano. As to baby a coye, and a Ghana Airport Company Limited, Chirimo, Sikane ma into your more revoke your license. Hanglana, or more edit store, more planes, and as Modia pack, Modia planes, negotiations, or Muse or Matumuno, or Muchirimo, and yes, I net. While the company fell behind its payment of rent, it is important to clarify the nature of the payment delay that has been cited. McDan Aviation experienced a brief payment delay triggered by operational challenges amid the current global business crisis. This temporary delay was fully certified with all outstanding amounts settled in good faith. And to Chiremu, Chiremu Koma Ghana Airport Force say ni na yentimintua na emrepem no ba betua. Now, over the last part, and I said this temporary delay was fully rectified with all outstanding amounts settled in good faith. As a sika kaya biano, omuchiremu omutua, enti omu entiase say. Omo NTS say ansem bi say aba betudwa ewo ehonum nti omo so ensem a omo edi atudwa enu no ekiremu a omo ntiase say nsem bi say eba ye ewo ehonum eti that is the current update a free McDan for ho edi eba because omo entiase the actions of the Ghana Airport Company Limited omo kiremu a it is affecting their business. It is making omo business omo ye no ekofom any ade ewo honum nti omo so aha omo pa omo kiremu say the judicial processor Ghana Airport Company Limited ashase no enyina so obi ani ho ani so ewo honum a enti omo so ede omo ensem ababa betudwa ewo honum enti yes ye behwe McDan almost reply the Ghana Airport Company Limited hifa ene beko akwakusi ewo ehonum because omo edin chiremu bebre by say there has been global say challenges are not at a point it was affecting their business and no another challenge omo face omo Ghana Airport for a year away drew baby they were able to rectify all those challenges and they made full payments into omo ntiase say ensem say fly echo abonting ewo ho ye beto aso na ye the update no e de amamo kojo nkansa Lil Wayne Kumawood actor ono ene da screens ne so na revelation kese bia abeto amonten so a ye pese ye the update no emamo no be hwehwe waso kakra because o kiremu a wa wone ma say emma mema be num ewo ho no mo a o si emu ba ko a abranche ne ba no wadi be say 10 years Kojon Council Lewin say omukoye DNA ne man enum ni nyina ono nko a wa hwe no over 10 years ni no enye ne ba ama manfo dodo na start ehwehwem se na hwan ene kofa Lewin echi a ode babrani yenko tie Lewin ne nsem a ode etudwa ewo ho no because at a point no kiremu a hano but obey ni den because utwa ye woni pa bebre wo ho a omutwa omo hwe amanfo ma ene ade ewo ho nti ono de na enya de a ehano but na ɔpɛsɛ nkɔde some screenshots ne ade ɛba abɔnten na ɔmo obi ehu sɛ sei ɛna akɔ so ɛwɔ ne side amanfoɔ had to and people had to come in to stop saa revelations and as screenshots and then nkɔde ba abɔnten ne nyinaa yɛnkɔ tie kwadwo nkasa ne nsɛm a ɔde to dwane mmra sisiɛ
me ba baako ma ha be almost 10 years ni now 10 years bɛsɛ nya me ba
David, kwadwo David, meba.
Hey, and seven I can say no.
Oh,
David, kwadwo bi asem na aka no.
Diana no dey.
Me say o so chire man. Oh, first wife and net tonight. Me dey be say
I first wife. Me ma do so. Em baako anya me ba.
Na just who ko bi won chen.
Na me ma no Over home, ma. What me over home?
Your first one, Anna Walker.
Me ma be Germany. Me ma
Master say who no da na started to say about Germany or Babanya 10 years. Germany.
Be say me age no.
I fell.
Me bo. My hand be so many years no. Be nan saying e ko check ye no. Anya me ba. Me bunfui, me sui because I say I never help from me.
Unim, Kwame, only a communicate, but Unim, one thing I like about this conversation is that on person Bemana look say a nipa su mesidin wobo, but yes, dear, you bet him. Yeah,
I'm resources. I can be telling you about it. I was a
I won't advise you, sir, for a collab picture better about it.
And I can make my resources.
Wow.
Debut. As a grass, I grown to you serious, Anna.
Oh,
no, Chalo is serious, so serious.
It's a me dear Namibe, make an coupon 9. I can't swam a corset. Me mano, but okay, no ma.
Wow.
You know, Hong Kong, and then you say Melly. So just for her crown, and there no man. Any Saturday, I hope it's
say dear no, a true story, dear, not just a church member, and also a true story.
True story, dear no, a real story. I see me so I may say catch out of phone, I say a bit to a money how. Seven, a mabum and 2 months and no my government, over for my.
First, I'll find it out in the sun of Philly.
Oh, media, cheer, Carlos Mid and Queen. Beginning in Ano, may I well say, I cry a and Yamiba. But I said, school am way. But can't grab a baby, Omunia Janina, 3 and home. Mamma for P and Yakapi, 5 months, we just come over. And say, I to say, Bassamba, and no ma. I want to do say, Papa, when him Jack never found an energy. Then what they have gonna say, wouldn't say, I could and your Bemaiba. No run amount. Now, Sapper what it's no. What's that per se? Who couldn't even mercy? Abra, wouldn't say so, and a Sabema Kurema. Common sense.
Not just and some of your tennis some years ago in your eyes and crow.
Say,
and somebody at tea.
oh, somebody that made me then some grandson, Macano, Obi for Burger. Macaza man for young person, and not a rare, mean fancy.
Wow.
Median shed. A bitua, and not Ubonwa, the bufu, Aquajinica, whatever calling you had a cocotte, but a young gentleman in Panoko.
And you still a crown over Ubegusoreno.
Oh, as a bassa attempts. The mammy and I had your catch Unya Tama. At least, Oma, Okra, Oma, at least. I'm going to win more. Anna, young man, my also. What if you are a sign, but some quarter the home, one family call. Now, ma, young and but one for people on ma. Who was up? And never money back. Jan, Papa, every man now won't tell. And was first Nippano, and go in my say. Now, if Uncle,
many gave you on my moon. And also,
hey, dear, no. As Judge, with the Yokopo, we are special. The amount for Nemono. onu se enyo ba o
unim se de bia unim se de bia ya
o ma mi hu no ana akra no ana beso me hu no ana ai adai wonko aba no o se me hu no na aso akwasi ko school o be dey me hu no other boarding o be dey me hu no na o so se wo papa no
Enti kwadwo nkansa lewen ne de nsem ne nakosem etudwa e wo ho no mu kire mu a and baba akwa wa hwe no 10 years over 10 years ni na nsi omukoye DNA omo hu se akora no enye ne ba na asem no se de amanfo omo won chen be hu se ha no ana se ha no ana how amanfo fa asem ni bia no de ye cool I mean ni school a wate kra no owo nkra bebre wo ho no mu ni eja ebi mu ni na ono ana hwe omo na enti se obi a woni na tena over 10 years a wo hu ni se ye ne ba na wa hwe na bedru se semri na oba be ye se ebia wakohu se nye ne banti obeye bibi ewo honom dabi enye eno no oba be ma akra na free ni nchen akọ ana bibi sa dabi still na be ma akra na won nchen nti ono de ha no ekire mu se DNA no eye real eti se wo ho na wo doubt because o se wo hu se akra die de we oye ne niema ne adidie asa nye meba eti wan sha na single ne out na ode omu nyina na call ye no hu se 9 ne de omu ye ne ma na ba ko aka no pa de enye ne ba na omo epushi na se won kire mu se hwan e no ne no ewo saa ba no se de ye ne ya wo mpa ne se oni nipa ne te na oni mpa se ebe ya woni na wi enye ne ba na wo ma na hwe na abedu sesemri wo se no ene ade a eye ne ya na omo a na oni omo edi nkomo eye kwamiji ene flatelo omo mienu na omo pese omo pushi ne na on kire mu se hwan ene de ba ne be share no the first wife na anase okonchen baabi ena nipa ne ka chen se ye ne ba ni nyina no mpese nko mu hunu mu e wo hono mu a omo ye ya ball no le wen entimi anka ho asem na at point na nko pese ode akra ne picture akra beto mountain so na omu hu the man de ye hu omo pictures hu a na ode DNA results no so beto mountain so na amanfo ehu sei ni na ekọ na nso ni nyina ya ade a omo a oni omo wo live ne so no omo make sure say onye sa because of a year and someone koso enti no any update yedi efri le wen ho enum ede eba na odwene ho a onte ase because etoda na de na nsem no akwakoye bibie wo ho because etai sisi papa na say video bi ana circulate omo akowo na omo kowo akra no ohwe akra nanim a oye Chinese ni na papa no ka kire ne ba eba na akwo na ne baba no awo akra na ose Chinese ni we ewo mining area baby ena omo se omo beto akra ne di na China ni na omo susu se ne ba no ene ne wo ye no China ni no Africa na ko na omo be so omo to akra ne di omo nya papa bi amfa ne nyina ho se ne papa ni ena omo start se omo pa eye ne baba no ne Ghana boyfriend so omo pa na chew se nka omo ginam nenko onye se wo ne ba no nenko omo nto akra ne din na eyesa ebeye nimguase na wo hwe China ni ba oda hoyi na yese abrante Ghana ni megina ho se ye ne ba no yemfa nto ne din de odwe ho ana entiase bi anim enti sa yakowo baabi ne de abehye be ma no ne ade no ekoso pa le wen e de afutuo mam emrante se o suspect bi kakra bi na hwe na ne ma ne nkoyi a DNA wo ho ko na ekoye na fa hunu se oba no anase nye oba eno no ono de wo hu ye no eye yase de be share ne de na emom se o hwe akra ne de ha no because ipadodo na hwe amanfo ma ewo ehonom ntia no ene kwadwo cancer le wen na futu a ode ba ye ene the shocking revelation in his family a ode aba beto dwa ewo ehonom ntia yes that is the updates that we have for you on kwadwo cancer le wen. Na NPP for ese kama bi unity ewo honum on the part of the new National Democratic Congress. Na any say fuel prices per niema ekeka kono kiremu a fuel prices ba be kosoro na esoro na ba be kono na omo hu ne say NDC for be started dia share US Israel Iran ntokwa ekoso yi na omo say debi na ntokwa ne sha ase na NPP for started warning NDC for say bibia sia omo mpese omo beti se Iran any US Israel tokwa because omo de ba ye omo kan omo si da bi enye no Ukraine any Russia tokwa bi antimi affect hwe. And on your screens NPA increases fuel prices floor for March 16 window. Petrol now 11.57, diesel pegged at 14.35 Ghana cedis. That is the new prices are. Say Eba National Petroleum Authority omo edi aba say prices ni eba betutum diesel any fuel diesel any petrol ankasa no yeba betutum a and the NPP for say we kama na omo empese omo bete se NDC for say ntokwa ayekos Middle East and ama sa ne ma no ekokoso na say fuel prices ekosoro ewo ho no enti omo de enya de se omo beso omo tibi ewo masum because Kama NIS is working with a NDC and say abanesa they should find ways and supplement the shortfall and say prices no munya bi mon pesika wo baby na mon koto no in surplus said the buyer price no ebe maintain the e wo sisi no mane nkoye se mo de ebo no ba bebuti mamufo no kom e wo e ho no Kevin Taylor so de ne nsema ba betu dwa so omo de omo nya omo te se NPP for na sa asemba na omo kata so no mu aso na pini aban ni down so omo nka na omo bobosia na omo de cushion eniema no so that omo ani be ya fair in the faces of the good people of Ghana there be entokwa ekoso Middle East ama petrol ene enyinam menka se petrol ene fango ho akwatwe enti eye den a ne buo no bekosoro aban ne beba be ka kire temamufo no price ne bekosoro enti mu betua mo beto Kevin Taylor atutu bi di ama NPP4 yenko ne tie ne nsem ne emra sese
Monday you top petrol 18 Ghana per liter. What is so exceptional about it? Because we all know where the problem is coming from. Why should this one be like asema ko pekaka yes petrol beto no 18 Ghana a liter inti aban nya de inti nya den inti jo mahama ko bobisia no nya den o ma on for Ghana. It doesn't work like that bemo. Aban na ye de wiase sisi na asesa wo o mo ko ntokwa no mo interest inti say wo betina ka jem say because petrol akodu 18 inti Monday inti me aban no e was say me force na me ton 2 a wa ban di begu. Inti I'm advising the government if through the war petrol moved to 18 Ghana cedis a liter. Tell the people petrol has moved to 18 Ghana cedis a liter. When it comes down, it will move down. Finished. Nobody should pick any cap and go anywhere and go and borrow any fucking money. So if you tell me, Kopek say, and so catch him say, Oceani Ekukwadwa, Okwadwa, and I order Nibinayan coin into your surprise. Oceania catch out and I saw Padwan coin. So what makes that person who say that to say, Sani Pana is something exceptional? No. We know the reality on the ground. There's a difference between a government lying to you. The NPP government, time and petrol code 17 letters, no, we all knew that the war price wasn't there. They were telling us about Russia-Ukraine war. And the Russia-Ukraine war, why is the petrol not 18? So you know, say, those people were lying. They were taking our money, they were stealing from us. But when the reasons are legitimate, why should we fight? Why should we argue? The reasons are legitimate. I want and then say Israel, America, and Iran for Tokano, it can make petrol go up tomorrow. So what is this thing of if you're a government communicator, you come and sit on TV and say you are dilly-dallying around it? Tell them, my friends, when the Iran war wasn't there, you saw how much we were buying petrol. Iran war is up. They have closed the garage. Petrol is expensive. Let's deal with it. Finito. What is this thing of Mama politics are complicated? Mama we boka abe bread to explain. Kopek has not done anything exceptional. There's nothing exceptional here. When it comes to the foreign world and in the foreign countries, when petrol goes up, but there should be a reason. There should be a reason for you to tell the people Russia-Ukraine war effect na edin COVID-19 by yesterday I told you how much money in Konfo right after COVID-19 100 billion about Tampa youth program was the 100 billion. So my friends, this is no news. My like I said, me come to America, petrol. This gas is $3 now. America, you have 2 petrol. Into 2 petrol more Ghana. But there should be a reason. There should be a reasonable reason. And the government is giving us. Right now we see it clearly. And also TV. It may my baby say Russia-Ukraine war. Abraham said the war is not affecting anything in Ghana. Abraham said the war is not affecting a petrol in Ghana. You are telling me Russia-Ukraine war. No. Abraham, what can I say? You have right now, last week, NPA told us we have fuel about 3 to 4 weeks. 80 price no e go do 18 na e gina wa na say petrol na for 4 weeks to the side I say go so what I saying with our buffer is there and the buffer cannot do all the job.
All right, into Kevin Taylor and ordinance some to jaw hot chrimwa. And yama ecoso ewiase no ama petrol prices near de ebe kosoro. And yes, I feel na abano and who the onion home because okotuma yebeka say oh back I saw better so near de and yebepe coin be yebe subsidize na yatono a year prices I work from that be and you kwasa mama amamu no more de chechere mo hot kenchen sa say a catcher timemufone say a na yahu say this is the way we are going. Na enya se mo be ye say oh ya kata so ya mumu aso na mo hyede mo na mo su na etete mo da bi nti petrol price na ade no ebe kosoro timamufo no nti ase no omu entua e wo hono nti no ene ensemo a Kevin Taylor ede etu dwa na ye kan mo se NDC anase NPP for ankasa so ababonten say omo pese omo beti nsemu a Kevin Taylor eken because eduru omo so the we a omo eba hye eye NPP for ese enye bibia ena ama eye prices akosoro enye bibia na e affect economy no untimi mfa nkoshe Russia Ukraine war ehwe ya hu channels a the impact of the war no ewo Ghana so e single out every single thing a NPP for bobo so e kire mu say there is nothing like that bibia nu e kire say Russia Ukraine war and ama enema mu eye din as at the time NPP e wa ban mu no e ti se sie se enema bi say enso e koso a omo expect say eye NDC for nso be ba bonti aba be ka say eye Iran and to kwa ekoso no na affect eye petrol prices aye ba betum yi dabi omo pese omo bete na said enso ye no saa na ekoso a eko ede atia eye NDC for enti omo nso pese omo bete se eye omo aba be ka say ento kwa ekoso na ama omo prices no enso so ekoso ewo ehonom no enti yes NPP for the warning aba they are coming NDC for so they should deal with it. Omo enhwe kwan omo befa so a omo betimi maintaining the prices of fuel e Ghana has say because edru omo so no omo ampene e wo ehonom. That is the update that we have for a year for you. Enti kai na channel so said the fuel prices kosoro. The fuel prices ba be kosoro and no any MPA increases fuel price floor for March 16 window and the eba cost from the baby was a CA be 9.9 be 10 yeah no 11.57 diesel na dia kan so be ko 14.35 enti ye be ko yanim yi ye ba beto fuel prices mu enti hye so se o ba breast on with the new prices are ba beba no ma niema so ebo akosoro wan hwe na GPRTU for and I said transport fares so ehu ba beka na eno so ye ba betum wo honom niema bebre will be affected ma ebi crampa prices of goods and services and I said goods in particular and also ebetimi akokosoro any ade ewo ho and we have to brace ourselves for what is ahead of us coming from the National Petroleum Authority. Yes, prices of fuel any diesel eba abekosoro ewo ehonom ye beto aso na ye the update no the amamo ewo ehonom. Yes, PURC, Public Utility Regulations Commission, omo ede ensema ba betudwa na we de asemde ene wo ho ene se omo eba betete tariffs ne so electricity and water na people have the feel say President John Dramani Mahama has been pressured or has been ordered to reduce the prices of electricity and water e Ghana has say because enema dodo na akofom as at the time na enema dodo na ewo fom no still na electricity tariffs any Ghana Water Company omo bills a omo de ba no na still na no de na ewo soro enti amanfo dodo na start ebo omo achi pa emu eyedin ewo honom ena ema asese de yehu these significant changes on your screens. PURC announces reduction in electricity and water tariffs by 4.81% and 3.06% respectively from April 1st. And from next month, you better take electricity bill, any water bill. So, Ghana has say na eno ɛna Dennis Miracles Abuaje ɛsɛ ɔba bɛgye fans no de afa because ɔno hu ne sɛ ɔno na ɛbɔ aban n'akyi ɛma asese order aba ama PURC for ɛba bɛtete ɛyɛ bills no ɛso ɛwɔ hɔnom. Dennis Miracles Abuaje with the People's Forum program or commenting so na ɔbɔwɔ so kyerɛ ɛyɛ timamufo kyerɛ ɔmo mu sɛ ɔmo nte aseɛ sɛ yɛhyɛ ɛyɛ market women yɛhyɛ ɔmo tontɔn nneɛma sɛ ɔmo nte ɔmo nneɛma so nanso so electricity bill any water bill the yente so na nipa no obeka che ne say dollar yate so fuel prices form na the basic ones are omutua that has a direct impact on production, that has a direct impact on maintaining omu shops ni ade na no wonte so dia den no ete ne niema so yenko tie Dennis Miracles Abuaje ne nsem odi tudwa ye ba ye ba mu emu nkyiremu. All right, so on our screens, the release from a Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Omo ensemo omo editu just it's first of all, yenko here omo release no na yemranti on your screens. 2026 second quarter review decision for electricity and water. And na what screens no so ewo ho no. 1.0, that is the first point, also the background. So what is affecting this reduction? That is what we are going to give you right now. So the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, wishes to inform consumers of electricity and water that the existing electricity and water tariffs have been reviewed downwards to take effect from April 1st until 1st April 2026. Yebehu a change in the prices of electricity and water. These adjustments have been carried out in line with the Commission's mandate to review tariffs on a quarterly basis to reflect development within the quarter. The quarterly reviews track and incorporate movements in key factors for which their variability affects the operations of utility service providers, USPs. And the quarterly adjustments and as a quarterly review of electricity bills and as a tariffs are utility tariffs are Ghana has this particular quarter January to March. The rates are USP and utility service providers. The next quarter no a year from April, May, June no also so and also these factors are the exchange rate between the Ghana cedi and the US dollar, domestic inflation rate, electricity generation mix, and the cost of fuel, mainly natural gas, to power the thermal plants. These quarterly adjustments are undertaken by the Commission to maintain the real value of the tariffs, which would enable the utility service providers to be financially viable to deliver on their services to consumers, while bearing in mind the impact of these tariffs on consumers in general. Point 2, factors under consideration. Again, NMA says omuatete omuatete anyinama hoden eka ebo any insuo ebo so omuatete so no. What are the factors? First of all, almost say the Ghana US dollar exchange rate. Enti ono one factor omuatete anyinam kania ebo so. The Commission applied a projected weighted average Ghana cedi US dollar exchange rate of the 11.193 per $1 for the second quarter of 2026. This projected exchange rate is based on a 3-month actual interbank average Ghana cedi US dollar selling exchange rate for the period of December 1st, 2025 to February 28th, 2026. This indicates a 6.78% reduction from the quarter rate of the 12 Ghana cedi to $1 US. And so the Ghana cedi to the US dollar a factor amount so inflation rate and also about from the Commission also used a 3-month December to February 2026 average inflation rate of 4.17% for the second quarter of 2026, which indicates a downward review of 47.87% from the previous quarter. Inflation rate and so another factor. Price of natural gas and so another factor. They also talked about electricity generation mix, hydrothermal mix, and also the projected hydrothermal generation mix for the quarter under review remained the same at 20.90% from hydro generation and 79.10% from thermal generation as applied in the multi-year tariff order MYTO of 2025. And electricity, nenua prices. Sikadodo a yedi kom ansa na yetimi enya insuo electricity ene insuo ayisu wo fie no omo hu say ankosoro it remained the same. Enti eno ene ma asisi de yehu this significant decrease in tariffs yeba betua effective from April 1st April 2026 ekono yebehu say yebetete enyinam kanea eboso ene insuo nso eboso ewo. This is coming from the PURC. Enti asem de na yensa aka ewo honom no. It yes medika de tudwa se Dennis Miracles Aboagye eje fans na fa kire mu a omo na abo aban na chi edi figures na atoto ho aye analysis no figure by figure a check ni nyina ehunu se ebo a yetua sesi edema enyinam kanea eni nsuo no aban no esisi Ghana for aban no esisi timamufo. Into the People's Forum omo moving from market to market base to base no eno ena ama sesi de ebetimi aka se ebo no eso ate significantly ewo honom nti ono age fans no afa ewo honom a odi nsem ababetu dwa ewo honom enti abeto ansem no so na yede amamo yebeto ansem no so ede amamo. Now before that no per what Dennis Miracles Aboagye na omo ede tudwa ewo honom on the People's Forum na omo ehihia market women na omo de omo nsem ebe tudwa na omo hu ni say that was a big expose on the part of the government because already no na omo de release about mu a the IMF program ani also no the quarterly review of tariffs ni ade no. This is the first time review na eswati because anytime we are not review ne beba no na ekosoro because yeni IMF for ewo nhyehyeye enti the other side of it say na President John Dramani Mahama etimi nhyehyeye ma IMF program no kra na ye free so anesa no eno enso ka ho bi na yetimi ehu this significant reduction in insuo ene kanea bo. Dennis Miracles Aboagye de still na oginamu say omo meetings omo share community meetings omo share omo to omo anim aban ni hu say they are being exposed enti na also omo ye hu ebibi ewo honom a enu nti ama ye hu sa significant change ewo nsuo ene kanea ebo eso ewo honom no. Enti still na the NPP omo hu ni say yes sa neck pressing agenda omo eguso omo ye no enya de say omo bejai ene ni ochina. And you know, the question is the People's Forum serve the purpose no. Dennis Miracles about your bet twaso na waye and answer on twaso na on ye. You see as them there 4 prices ebe kosro tariffs ayetua for nsuo ne kanea eno de eba be kosro ewo ehonom. That is the update ye de emamo ewo in some way eho. Yes, indeed, you better also na ye the updates no the amamo. Na ye ko pakoso e ko na ebusuan e wo pakoso dade lumba ebusuan oja wo akire papa yi obefiri mu ofiri mu na yi ase ensem bebre na update e ba ye na kire se amanfo de placards ne ade ya sensan bibia kire mu se abusuapanyin Kofi Owusu yetu no ade so se abusuapanyin de ma the Ekwana family of Pakoso no update foforo aba kire mu a abusua no sa kire mu se nukure bia anim because abusuapanyin Kofi Owusu aka Tupac he still remains the abusuapanyin de ma Ekwana abusua ewo Pakoso enti mpanimfo dodo na ewo Pakoso omu hia nsamtwerefo nhia mu de nsam tudwa kan esi ni people say abusuapanyin de ebesi nei ono ana da so ye abusuapanyin enti empanifo dodo na wa abusuanim de won nsam tudwa yenko na yenko tie ni emra sese
adofo no ye hyiam wo ha ene dai eye dafiada Nia, Bijina Hamika say, within the Kofi Yamiche, a year Pacoso, a corner, Abusia, a dish year, Baco, and the men. Say a tear for Bakaya, men come or yaw, a black or do for sue, a free toy, the tribute no, when I'm a kenkai. To me, this year, Concon, Okudzeto, Abusium. Yes, she has here, but I did she have a corner set. And JP, and the Titan from them, and in one social media, and the TikTok, no, a man crowphobi, Echo Shia, our Pacoso. Namuntie, Pacoso Abusiano, a tre a son, a one, a by year pa. Abusiano, ebi won sutako, ebi wo wanchi, ebi wo plan, ebi wo boase, ebi wo baabiani, ebi wo anwanya, ebi biso wo kofoldua, ofenso. Ebi so wo brain to be can let us abusua etre yie pa. Enti anada ya hia, ya won abusua no kakra bi a wo pa akoso no, ekohia. Na etie ya domo kan se omotu abusuapani kofiusu ane de dodo nyina nim se friend to park na amamna ne amanya kwemu no enya saa womo ko antimi nkohia saa efi se yenye wo hanyina ya ekona abusuafo ane de ya hia yi emampanimfo ewom ni titiri kura ni se eye ekwo edikuro ekan ye ho nti na enikwa se omko akohia saa eye ekodi kro na ochirehia abo ono so ewa ha na de muntie ni yie na de mu social media no mai ni ti no eye abusuapani kofusu to park san hwem de ye hia ho onim ho hwe onka ho bi onim ho hwe message subio eye abusuapani kofusu to park enhia mo ye hia ha yi onim ho hwe onka ho bi tisa otutu wani hwa hase a onka ho bi ye na mom no ensam a ekoso na de ye tete no mframa mu nti no ani ti na ne dai ye hia ha na ye pese ye matie 40 se sankrofo no a amwatu omo so omo na ye ko de hia onko hia pa akoso no omo ko antimi ntu abusuapani ya frɛ pa akoso hene na ponsa okofo ban a otoso me yensa osi onim ho hwe Musa muntie ya kantam kase bi ato ho nana obrempon da sebre nana osetutu bobi mu ase ibo odin kasa asam no wo otumfo anim ayenya nkanwiye na enti no amamre na amane nkwanso no ye de kan se enam se ntam no ho niti no sa abusuani ni ho kwan se omo kase omo tu abusuapani anya ne kwan no amamre kwan anya ne kwan no ebio atsem omo de tumo so no charge omo tumo so no ye de kojo fosu efin kraba no aha ye gire aha ya ne de ne baaye de ne beto ansan de ne ko Heroes Park akosiesie na pa na krabie sani pa no omko hia ye no omo amabi omo amaye ni bi omo di drive no me ma minimi omo timi chahan omo na giye omo mo ho no omo bi ansia bi amaji bi omo amaye ni bi na asante manie mu no se wo pese ogun so obi na obi bu nkunta wa yi ase a ese okoye ni bi abra ye be ye kojo fosu aye no ye nyina be hia ha ma busuapani de to ye nim se ye pesika de aye no obi antimi anka se obemateku anasempoa abusuapani kofi to park ono ne kope abosiam ye de ye no na wo obi aye wo se first cabla me anya ye wo anya bi mi twemachi ko hwemachi da e be se mi busa mi nua na owo pakoso no amacha na me sraw ani die kasa o ma mi wu ye no a wo ye no wo bu nkunta ma ye wo bu nkunta kire ye besi no wo bu nkunta kire ye besi na wo bu nkunta kire ye wo bu nkunta kire ye mi ka ho bi ye kosie wo ma me ka ho bi na ye no me ka ho bi na so wo bu nkunta kire ye if you say one akopa sika na wo di ye wa yi na de na sisi no ye wa ma bi na wo tweda wo kura wa ma bi ye no am maybe then na wona wo kina social media ka se abusapani ba mu kunta nkyere wo and only say akunta no so oni ye hia e wa ha abu akunta na kyere yen na bibi ti na nya nwie peye it is a one ma metia ye bu akunta no ye nya nwie ye to so ani say amamani amane kwanso abusapani onyine na di ni siye temetuo manana na bo ache mesire woni die kasa akorfo ba to so miensa epese me hu se anadia unu anu omo so omo wo pa akoso no omo so omo tu abusuapani woni mu bi ana se omo bo amane so omo tu abusuapani na woni ho me de minim so ho dodo na tinana mesire brabonte beka mamba nsa nyina hunu die akọ ne die ba efi se wo woni ho na ye den ana wamu kakra no akohia so moto busuapani ana se wona wo so mo kutupan ama wo ko kan sa asem no ana mesro beyi wa no awa bonten na de koso no ebio ye be sere se abusua mo chemu achi ni ade ameka ne se mesra mo ye ya de hwenti ye kasa ye ni atam ye peka se twitwie ese ye kakasa abeto asomu kasa ahotie kasa ho wonyam kasa obi ati obebu ye sampa ye ya de hye eti free nekro ye sramo se mo obi ani obi atam mo obi ani obi ankasa ye no obi ani asem bia aka ya asem aye kan nyina ne se abusuapani Kofi Tupac woda so ye kona abusua eda mo ase bam
Sabe, ye be bisano.
Yes, na just oti mu a wanu hwam papa no ode ne nsem atodwa e wo ho kire mu a omo mu kohia ye se omo tu abusuapanyin Tupac afri ye ade so no omo kra yie no ye hwehwe omo ye hu omo yie no omo amabi yie no amabi no ye sa hwehwe skampo dia ye yie no kra ma na sika ram de beba afede ye wie yie ya mo se mo wakotu ye abusuapanyin afri ade so na omo de se de omo ka omo nsem no kire mu a abusuapanyin Kofi Owusu still na ono na ye omo abusua panyin ewo honom na emam panifo bi omo eye kon na abusua nim ewo pakoso enso de omo nsam to dwa kire mu kosi ase se de omo eni dadlumba na omo ne tie anase how they are related to that lumba omo de enu ensam nyina etudwa kire mu se abusuapanyin Kofi Owusu ayese etu na afri ade so no nukure bia anim enyina so bia so anim tie enko tie man panifo ni bi eno eye that lumba ne maame me kan se ne maame that lumba maame maame enuamo ena de nsam etudwa ti enko tie ne mra sese
Maame ya mo achi na odiani lumba wanya ne baby ko Uchima, Butchimison, and no Butchimison.
Say, oh, mammy, and no, I miss her. And I miss her. And I got it. Mammy,
one and I miss her.
Amesa.
Amesa yo ba. Number onana. Okay. Na no kwesi ade se de no ona ma panya na moji.
Se ade ye ko nkran ya. Ye kwadi na wakeda no.
Ye interview.
Abusia pani ye se. Akorafo no mienu nyina, wanyu obi emfiri mu, nti wo mienu nyina, ye mra, ne me ye kuna no. Nti ye papa mu a ye ba ye no. Abra ye no e course no se ne e course obi ade obi anim de e course ne ba se abusua pani onya ye no yenso ye hwekwa ye a wa ma enti ne yiri kuma ne ba ye nti oba ye obesie okunu nti de sie de no yenso ne ye abusuafo a ye mpanifo a ye ge ye
nti ma me mpanifo mo nyina na mo je ade sie de no
mo je ne santase ha
o sant efie ye mo
efie we ye
ase fie mo na e sade down
ye no e ho ene de ba
we ye de ase de fu
ade ande ye ha
okay
ade se ade ande
okay na say de lumba so ba de ye de ko ya na sande no ba ye
ye be bia no so ha mo hwe
ba e social media e se ye bia no so ma me
ye bia no so
yes ye bia no so ye bia
de nyina wa mo amebi na nke ye de ye pa na se nka so bia be ba na nke ye nyina be ka bom
Oh, okay.
Yet to me, Abua, I'm a year, I am Koso. You can pamper pay. And can pamper pay.
Okay. Mammy, they're costing you and Abeka. Then they're costing you and Abeka.
The mechanic said, woman, you know, me and Kaye Humbo. The Seneca Makuraya. And into the Abbey, where you can wait. Young Yakuabusian, almost say a Busiano. If you say, will be out here, a quarter, and yet a dear boy, Sabusiano, and into a woman, me and come home. Not Yaba.
Okay. Let's a moon to was your pain. Oh, okay. Now I just say you two no more to any other day.
Mama China, ne. I don't met to know.
Sinipa back me no be no so metuno.
I don't met to know what I happen nanka what that. Yapen if we could I can go chain. Think I don't know. Think some way you have a paper or so. I will pay as we are. Kaduaka and said, Munya, ye in Uncle no abusia penny. Ye would ye day a year better. Most of swam and they didn't cry a day. I couldn't cry.
I'm going to talk about I'm talking about Bruchessa and I'm sent to a team friends of Fremia. Nema Fokuno.
Mammy, I see Mama China can offer.
Mama China saw a minia.
Mama China.
And I can say. Somewhere my idea.
Nti no ene nsem wa dade lumba ne nananom de etu dwa e wo ho kire mu a omo de niam ekoso no enya de se omo ani eje ho bia e wo ho no because omo de nko mbenya ne senka busia ne nyina be kom ho abom na omo edi dwuma na aso ani na ayefe na omo sazo kire mu se omo nsem wa de bia na abepie e wo social media ne ade no enya de omo ani je ho ko mbe sere se omo ebeyi omo nsem nyina de free social media no ma be fie omo atena se esi nkonwa no ma ka asem no e de free honom na aye kama na edin aye bo ekọ na abusuan wo pa akoso no ni nyina etimi aba form e wo honom ye koso na ye de update no e de amamo abrantie bi a owo United States of America ni din ene Derek Van Yeboah abrantie ni ho akoka adwemo no ene da screens ne so no President Donald Trump was start here ye omo ye Ghana fo a omo ewo cyber crime omo eye syndicate omo ka ho a omo edi sa adwuma romance scam ne ade no omo echeche omo na Derek Van Yeboah yi abrantie has pleaded guilty to a $10 million romance scam as I say the FBI omo ensa aso ne mu e wo hono a naso akwakoye hyepa e wo hono a enya asem enti yes said the etu dwa no omo Ghana fo a omo eye sa syndicate eye cyber crime syndicate ya start here omo eto omo so re e wo the United States of America enti abrantie na so etimi akwakoye hye e wo e honom pa ama a lot of people are questioning say eye den no mutimi go into this kind of act amunim say mo so ebetimi aye hye e wo so still na emrantie dodo na omo edi omo ho so this is what we have here from the U.S. Embassy of Ghana, Ghana. Ghanaian national Derek Van Yeboah pleaded guilty in the U.S. court to stealing more than $10 million from U.S. victims through romance scams and business email compromise schemes. Extradited to the United States of America in August 2025, he was part of a Ghana-based criminal organization that collectively defrauded victims of more than $100 million US dollars. The United States is working closely with the government of Ghana and other international partners to investigate and prosecute cyber and transnational criminals perpetrating crimes against Americans. And more ye boni editia Americans moji o musika through a cyber crime ni ade mojijiji o musika eni sane mani nyina ya ade a omo astarte ka ho nsem make sure say omo ne Ghana ebe collaborate na omo achichi omo nyina edi omo afri Ghana ha no makodi omo asem e wa manone enti abrantie Derek Van Yeboah yi ono ne de e na aba betodwa US Embassy of Ghana omo abon ho amane e de atodwa kiremu a abrantie yi 100 million na oka ho ana omo doso pa ena omo abo America for omo di omo bone agigi omo sika through cyber crime romance scams business email and no ye forge oh business we wa ha would say ba ye di same one mfaso say na obenya say ni say na obenya wo so any ade meware na omo accrete eye ma profiles e wo social media na omo e de egege amanfo sika ni nyina e na US omo e kiremu a omo enhwe e ma different countries transnationals omo e ma emebu omo America for timemufo no sa emfa omo emfa so say the direct man ye bo a abranche na so akwakoye hye ewo ehonom ye beto aso a armed robbery gang bi has been dismantled between Obuasi and Dunkwa highway ni so ya chi omo on your screens uhu AK-47 Terr0r say mi hu bi a che mi kai mi hu bi da okay enti amranche ni na all screens ni so Aminu Idrisu alias 0244 Abdullah Hassan aged 45 years ono so yensa aka no on your screens niema bi a yegigi edi free omo honom etu aboba na shotguns na AK-47 pump action uhu etu aboba ne ade niema bebre na gugu omo kamu the last person is Jamini Usman alias Babamu ono so 33 years na ya chi omo enti nipa miensen na Ghana Police Service omo dey update aba say ya chi omo omo na omo wo between Obuasi and Dunkwa highway ni so ho na ya chi omo a sisi e dey omo gang no ya dismantle no say dey no omo si abo omo se sen ni ade no ya dismantle ni nyina anti ye be kom the release from the Ghana Police Service. Armed robbery gang dismantled on the Obuasi Dunkwa highway. The Ashanti South Regional Police Command has successfully disrupted a dangerous armed robbery gang operating along the Obuasi-Dunkwa Highway corridor, following a series of intelligence-led operations conducted on 10th and 11th March 2026. The operations into Uchremwa, omu juma between Obuasi and Dunkwa Highway, and so and omu operati. Enti say car na mo betusene twam akọ free Dunkwa abesena akọ Obuasi atwam akọ Kumasi a na ya robe mo ufro Obuasi nso so twam akọ Dunkwa akọ twam akọ Bogoso ne takwa nswayem side ho nso so a ne ya robe o eni nyina ne dwumadi omudi ewo honom ewo Obuasi Dunkwa highway ne so ya chi omo ya dismantle omo gang no. The operations resulted in an exchange of gunshots during which two suspects sustained fatal gunshot wounds, the seizure of some weapons, and multiple subsequent arrests. The operation also led to the unraveling of a wider illegal arms supply network operating in the Asawasi area of the Ashanti region. And Jomu Chiremwa, Edru se omone armed robbers yiko shia no etututu okoso. Emma armed robbers no emu mienu omo sustaining injuries and omo pra emu odin ewo ho omo jeje sa etuo ni tu aboba bi firi omo honom ema ye di akire ekohu se etuo no ye no Asawasi area mu ho and omo manufacture tuo na so omo ye tuo no ewo ho. On 10th March 2026 the command received a credible intelligence that a gang of armed men had converged in a bush along the Obuasi Dunkwa stretch and were making preparations to carry out a robbery. A police team was immediately deployed and proceeded to the location. Upon arriving at the bush location near Obuasi on the Obuasi-Dunkwa highway, the team spotted approximately 4 young men armed with guns. On sighting the police, the suspects immediately opened fire and attempted to flee through the bush. The police returned fire on 2 suspects, and 2 suspects sustained gunshot injuries during the exchange, while the remaining 2, also believed to have sustained gunshot wounds, succeeded in escaping through the bush. And the omo jeje niema we brace so ewo omo AK-47 assault rifle omo edgy a free homo bearing the serial number 68104599. It was loaded with 25 rounds of 7.62 by 39 mm ammunition as an a pump action gun and also loaded with 5 rounds BB cartridges and also and a total of 36 rounds of 7.62 by 39 mm ammunition were recovered in all. And the 2 injured suspects, they were identified. David Ahito and I said David Aheto, aged 42 years, originally from Sogakokbe, but a resident of Asin Fosu. And Ilyasu Bawa, aged 32 years, a native of Bandam Kwanta in the Savannah region. Both suspects were rushed to the Bekwai Municipal Hospital for medical attention. but were pronounced dead on arrival by the medical officer on duty. Now it's two now can so almost sustaining fatal injuries no Omudru hospital Efri. The suspects have been linked to multiple armed robberies across Obuase, Dunkwa, Wasakro Point, and Asinfosu stretch and so Omo Edi Omujuma Ewo. So this is the release from the Ghana Police Service. This is the release from the Ghana Police Service. Jomu chiremwa Omo jiji niyama bebre omo ho etuo ni tuaboba eni ade a omo jiji wo omo ho bebre BB cartridges nso so omo jiji omo mako nwotwe etuo pump action guns eni ade na omo ejiji ewo omo ho na eni se omo enya intelligence led kasa bi ebepie Ghana Police Service wo se enkofo bi abo omo ho adwa ewo kwan ne so omo be start agigi amanfo eho niema ka utwam a ebegigi mo phone sika wo mo ho ebegigi na police for ye omo adwen se omo ka kopiem ewo ho omo ka kopiem ewo ho nom enti omo kopiem wo ho no omo start se omo ne omo tututuo eno enema sisi enkofo yo ho ekire omo ho the command reaffirms no so suspects Abdullah Al Hassan Jemini Usman Elias Babamu Aminu Idrisu Elias 0244 and Daniel Debra are currently in police custody, assisting investigations. Intensive efforts are underway to arrest suspect Malam Aminu and other members of the gang who are on the run, and also recover any remaining firearms in their possession. Enti uchiremwa nipa enum eyi de omo akoka a police for nsa na ba kwa wadwane Malam Aminu ono yesi wode ne ho akanwura ebesi na yente ne nka yehu no. The command reaffirms its zero tolerance stance against armed robbery and the unlawful possession and trading of firearms, and will continue to pursue all individuals involved in such criminal networks with the full force of the law. And that is the update on your screen. Say tool abani bi omjeje ye ewo omo honoma say die akwa kopium se Ghana Police Service omo bom homodin achiche mrante ye omo screens yizu ewo ehonom. Yebeto ansem no so na ye de amamo na ensem no ne se the Ghana Police Service adwuma omo abo ewo Dunkwa ne Obuase highway yisu eye ade a very very significant ehu hia pa because akwan ne so akoye ekwan bi a amanfo dodo na edi sa adwuma ne bi ewo honom because wodwene ho a wonte ase se ye kan hu bom na ye kogina kwan so ye gege amanfo esika police ni a osi omumpo ne etutu aboni na wa wo yetimamuni a unkuta hwe wo ye wano dendenden a waso betimi ayehye wo honum ti mrantie yi okeka bomu a omo ye akọ edu na omo ho ekokan ye wo ho okeka omo nyina omo afrim omo wo hospital eni omo ayede omo akopiem wo eye a police for kukum eni omo so omo de omo kanwura okeka bomu a nipa makoma ebaburu edu ena no ma bo mo ho adwa ewo sa kwan ne so a nanka omo eba bedi sa abonefosem no wo honom a Ghana Police Service ensa aso omumu ewo honom na omo kiremu a omo beba omo ho modin aboban ewo sa kwan ne so na omo ameki sure say ensem bi sa ensi ewo ehonom ebio yeto aso a recruitment ensem a ekoso a over 500,000 people apply. If 5,000, no, Honorable Muntaka, Interior Minister, na so aye shipa wo hono among for do na bonechi. Ebi mo so ho ni say, ensem a ekoso ne ensem a ebeba bonten, omo yi NDC amanyoko na ma ebi mo so kire mu a oye gu President John Dramani Mahama oye gu nanim ase ewo sa recruitment saga yi ho enti no ena ama nipa dodo na de omo nsem ababetu dwa na nipa ono so de na no abini mu bi Kwame Nkrumah tikese na ono de wabo ono abo achi se onte ase se ono abo mbom na agi bibia aginam ono ena make sure se fa we fa ha no no hu ye be fa obi ye be ye background check ye be check nipa no ne hu bibia se empo ekoye ansane afa nipa no na we de protocol sem ne adinti omo qualify people ye mfa omo near the Akofa baby, and I say online, aptitude test. O logi in, yes, you are disqualified. O logi in, yes, you are disqualified. And in 1 minute, me pass it, up till now, obedience me, I said, me, me, farm go through. Am I who said my pass and I'm pass it. And see, Ube come no my form, no aptitude test, only more share. ɛden medical screening kora wanko bi obi ti fie na the uniform abrɛ no yenko tie kwa Nkrumah kɛse ne nsɛm ɔde to dwa ne mmra sese
ba minister no wantie me patro mutie police for one more fa nipa immigration for fa nipa fire for fa nipa prisons for fa nipa one more background check entino say wo be fa wo awie na de wo ma bro so wo na nko background check to aso a wo wie a to aso na your background check the sato so biemu say wo disenfranchising krofo a wo mutin krase a wo mu computer kwan bia wo bi da ba wo pese wo be som ne man either in prison prison service either is a fire service either say immigration either say police hwe sa platform or the ba yes wo mu koy aptitude test no say wo mo e de a platform no say so you craftsman we a driver we a bibia aden ba reject you who say here no so kwa to nchen a you know platform so koso okoye examination na e jambe eti e jame a untimi nye wo study so we na anu atruncate na ma say disqualified aye nipa bebre ni nyina wa mo kan ho asem ba minister na I was suspecting say nka press conference na wo ye no Mubarak nka wo be kan ho asem say wo mo a eba sa asem we to wo mo no be say na maye no 101.77 because say wo ko fa nipa no na wo de wo mo ba wi a police for affair na police for immigration for prisons for and say fire service for one more akoye wo background check na and ya wo wi ato aso ye na NDC for mo wa ba mu mo so mo te ho na mo hwe mo te ho na mo hwe se minister na ye de ne call se onye sector minister no kan kabi aja bosu ko ba wono na efe ni security admin since one na muntaka baye security person ana obaye postini obaye yini prisons officer ana eti onimwa say na me ye nhihye no dia fa enyem bia ye use sector minister me pa chaw kwabena minta akando wona ye minister for what one the nurse for debi wo jaiman institution no na oni wo ma ye meeting wo ma kire say papa ye wo no say ni ye na fei wakikasa ni nyina wi na wo soso aka say okay mesma bay de mahunu nie this time no me pese ye say ne fast wo na wo so ayo enye one man show enne wo ye interior minister wo chena e bia na woni ho second now leadership e wo na se begin e wa na ye tiesi abe yiwa firi ho nti esa wo twa no hwe se e be yama wo mo ye computer literate wo mo dodo no a e na e betimi akọ police e betimi akọ immigration e betimi akọ ayini bi afemi bisa san hihye na odi gu akwa mu amekan say wo say e obi o ha we nurse obi o ha we say o we adwuma dada nipa bebre enne wo mo police mu wo mo immigration wo mo fire wo mo prisons no service ni mu no bebre de certificate na buy ne ya na edu ba bia minister me pacho wo no wo mo ntranse nebusa edu ba bia ya na ye hia a teacher for edu ba bia ya na service no ehia a lawyer for edu ba bia ya na service no ehia engineers etina sa wokọ even Ghana Army no ayewo engineers regiment Mubarak won samu ya den dodo na mame mawo information yi security campus ni nyina ko mahama ho president mahama ho akoka kire no se ade a wo ye ne nye o ka so obefre so frɛ wo se wa amfrɛ wo minim ba mampani pharmacy from I trust you mo party for ni nya bebre di yaw Senya de tie nie.
Okay, 101.77.
Aden. No aptitude test no because police for no one more ade bi one more person who won tro ya ankasa. Near who construction. Near who say awokra no reason a wo de agu paper so nie. Wo ka say da okwa on. But the omo beka no wontie. Police sahini IGP Christian Tete Yuhuno. What did police more than 30 years? Mamina or your prison service or your capuno. What did prison service in them rank in Musa Wabadu baby dream? Immigration for sir. It in terms of experience, no minister, we sector minister, no one was so same. What was so a sin? Because I would hear Mama up until there 1 year and I'm 1.77. Na he Mubarak, a word to the wise.
All right, NG eno ene nsemo a ekoso amanfo dodo na omo eba hye interior minister ewo hono a omo hu ne se ewo se papa no ogo ne nsem ene ade na omo make sure se adwuma omo ebo for recruitment process no eno so ebetimi akoso wano because said the name si ko ene de enya ade a omo ani age ho baako kra enti eno ene nsemo a Kwame Nkrumah kese so edi etu edwa ewo honom enti o hwe niema na said yesi ko na amanfo dodo na Charlie 500,000 plus applicants na 5,000 per na ye fa omo no na odwene ho na ye say ano odin papa ano eye din papa ewo honom enti no any a breakdown ye de emamo ewo honom no enti o hwe wei ene ade a na je say the youth na agasa no omo ehia adwuma ewo honom enti that is the update ye de emamo because we have police, immigration, fire service, prisons. They are all on high demand. Roughly 99% of all applicants were declined. Ya mo majuma anye ewo honum enti eno akwakoye ensem ebebre ewo honum enti yes ye to aso na ye the update no enso so e de amamo ewo honum enti we every fellas of Osukwache government communications ono enede in some way abetudwa or say due to security concerns and frequent breakdowns of the state jet, the Ghana Armed Forces has issued a warning against its use for President Mohammed's travels way every of Osukwache honum ena yede emao enti quickly yes. The next update I had Emamo President John Dramani Mahama na kwentu a O2 or de Nina Bema a private jet and it took a lot of people are starting omo eka ehun ensem ewo ehonoma enchiremu dodoona na omo ediaba amanfo hu ne say the NDC are trying to defend the act of the president using his brother's private jet for official travels. Amanfo dodoona any engine hu ewo honom nemom enchiremu aba every president the government's communications led by Felix of Osukwache omo edi nchiremu edi aba echiremu ensem bebre na factors ama sisi President John Dramani Mahama oyisu ne bra private jet no enti quickly ne yebekọ na yakwa akotie ensem a Felix of Osukwache edi tudwa yebeba sisi
presidential jet has broken down a number of times, and indeed I can reveal to you freely that the communications squadron of the Ghana Air Force have written to government indicating that the frequent breakdown of the presidential jet raises safety issues, it raises cost issues, it raises issues of reliability, and affects operational efficiency. So they recommend to government to purchase a new one together with other aircraft for the Ghana Air Force. A new presidential jet is being procured. Now, in between the time that this aircraft has its procurement processes started and its delivery, the president needs to travel. The president says that, no, I have a brother who has an aircraft. So rather than taking the taxpayers' money to go and pay $18,000 an hour like President Akufo-Addo was doing, I will use my brother's jet so that it saves the taxpayers some money in the interim, pending the arrival of this aircraft. In place of fuel, the pilots who pilot that aircraft are retained by his brother because they are in his employ. So he doesn't have to pay for that. Maybe there are landing charges that he may pay in the country that he goes, the state will bear that. Okay. But we don't rent the aircraft because the president charges that he may pay in the country that he goes, the state will bear that. How can any minority group say that they are worried because the president of Ghana is saving us money? How is that a problem?
All right, enti yabeko NDC for omwakache now. The ensema eba echirimu a President John Dramani Mahama na kwentu a otutu a oyusu ne ono ankasa ne brother Ibrahim Mahama private jet tutu kwan no. A lot of people started bashing abino say den na oyusu ne bra private jet na agreements men na akoso who is fueling the jet. Ni maintenance ni ade abine car na say hwan car dey na ekoso na NDC for start here omo defend the travel of the president or using onwankasa brother a private jet no edi tutu kwan no enti omo de sembe bra betudwa echiremu a we the president's safety ni nyina aka ho bi na omo ema o using brother private jet edi tutu kwan no government communications led by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye the ensema wa betudwa about this particular issue nti ebeko ni akoji nchiremu afri no ho no ma ba eba beto aso de amamo. President John Dramani Mahama currently na kwantu a otutu nyina oyusu ne brother Ibrahim Mahama private jet na odi tu akwan ewo Ghana ha ene baby okobia na nsia Korea okoye eno a na oyusu ye edi tu kwan de koye na a lot of people ene Ghana for do na in the opposition party the NPP omo edi ensema ba betudwa ensem no ene se omo ntiase se president odi ne brother anase ni nua be ma plane ene tutu kwan de official travels because omunim de kom what is the contract and sembe in the com maintenance and who asem to say who is fueling the jet any who sembe bre president and as a government communications omo ede enchiremu aba omo di mu update aba led by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye omo di enchiremu aba people feel said the NDC they are trying to defend President John Dramani Mahama na kwantu a otutu o issue ne bra a private jet no ye be ko ne akoji enchiremu afi Felix Ofosu-Kwakye ho aba ye be to aso.
presidential jet has broken down a number of times. And indeed, I can reveal to you freely that the communications squadron of the Ghana Air Force have written to government indicating that the frequent breakdown of the presidential jet raises safety issues, it raises cost issues, it raises issues of reliability, and affects operational efficiency. So they recommend to government to purchase a new one together with other aircraft for the Ghana Air Force. A new presidential jet is being procured. Now, in between the time that this aircraft has its procurement processes started and its delivery, the president needs to travel. The president says that, no, I have a brother who has an aircraft. So rather than taking the taxpayers' money to go and pay $18,000 an hour like President Akufo-Addo was doing, I will use my brother's jet so that it saves the taxpayers some money in the interim, pending the arrival of this aircraft. In place of fuel, the pilots who pilot that aircraft are retained by his brother because they are in his employ. So he doesn't have to pay for that. Maybe there are landing charges that he may pay in the country that he goes, the state will bear that. Okay. But we don't rent the aircraft because the president charges that he may pay in the country that he goes, the state will bear that. How can any minority group say that they are worried because the president of Ghana is saving us money? How is that a problem?
Government communications leader ono ene den sam abetu dwa kire mu de ntia eho abehia se President John Dramani Mahama otu kwan bia obeyusu ne brother Ibrahim Mahama private jet na odi ebetu kwan na owie ye no osanso ko ni Facebook esanso eco posti ye ede nkiremu no ni breakdown ase ne summary obo ne tofa e woni Facebook page ma obia nso etimi ekokan bi enji quickly ne beko ne akokan sa screenshot ne wi a ne akọ Kevin Taylor nso so nsem a or the atuja on this particular issue. Or say due to security concerns and frequent breakdowns of the state jet, the Ghana Armed Forces has issued a warning against the use for President Mohammed's travels. Where Ofosuko Achintin someone or can be braino ne tofa enono and said private jet a Ghana ha ankasa use no ehwa be hia se e wo se ye pakisi ho ni ye use foforo eno na manfo dodo na ebo aban na chi se time a president Nana Addo Akufo-Addo former president na ono so use jet and as or rent jet any ade no na mo bo na chi say a plane bi wo ho and an luxury nti na all high private jet and as all high plane foforo de atutu akwan any ade enti ye den na de mo so mo ba aban mu no mozumo kire mu a mozumo kwakoje plane foforo a enya ban dia na mudi tutu kwan eje bi mu uche nsema na mudi tudwa ebi mu board the current NDC government na chi se eniema na mo bo akire se enye aban na ye na mo ye sei na mo han ebi mu dware wo plane mu ene ade mo ba the same thing na mo so mo ye na we de ene se modify eye mo ankasa family achi ena asesa kakra na enye saade adenke the same thing enchiremu no as to how much is being paid to the jata man yedi any plane no use for air national duty sign ye tuama no ni maintenance fuel when na fuel no ni nyina ye ensam fofora eno so ye behwe na yaka ho asem wo ho later Kevin Taylor asem de say dem di tu dwa no ono so atutu bi Ediama omo ekasatia this particular act President John Dramani Mahama using a brother plane edi etutu kwan yenko na yenko tie Kevin Taylor ni emra sisi
juma utumi president utumi update ho computers ni ye juma enti ni pe bi so monti ase adentina John Mahama ko fani ni plane na you see sometimes ani refio makacha mo Ghana for mo kai this is Gabi Ochredako. This is Bumpty. This is the president of Trinidad and Tobago and Okudzeto Ado on our say. This was when Akufo-Addo was president. The president went on an official trip to Trinidad and Tobago. Kwasiafona obuku social media can say if Gabi Ochredako had a private jet and this is when President Akufo-Addo was president. He traveled from Ghana with the taxpayers' money. He put his brother on a flight. He put Gabi Ochredako on a flight and their wives and girlfriends. Went on an official visit. Went to meet the Trinidad and Tobago president. And then during the meeting, the defense minister was sacked from the room. The ministers who were supposed to be in charge of the meeting, the foreign affairs minister, they were sacked from the room. It was left with only Gabi. What was Gabi's role? This was not even dangerous. Problem no there, you are calling Jesus. Mumwana mwe Jimmy Ohu. My problem is say, yes, John Dramani Mahama Airco South Korea. Unim how many hours are to free Ghana? Ubedu South Korea. It's uncle for Falcon enko. Nobody is saying Falcon enye jumo, but you cannot trust the Falcon because of its consistent breakdown. Security risk involved in with the Falcon. I feel Yankobia budget or budget a parliament to say you better plane for. The government is in the process of buying a new plane. Now, the reason why the government is buying a new plane for every president or baby to use it is because the government, even though we are saying this plane, I have Falcon, it is road or fly well, the president and the government cannot trust it. It is the trust because any one time I have Falcon break it down consistently. Falcon break it down, so the president doesn't want to make a mistake. If you want the president to fly the Falcon in the country, it is safe. But to tell me, say, President Enkotina Falcon now, we cannot trust him. Falcon now, every day, it will be breaking down in the sky, no? I brought the president's brother. The president's brother has a plane that is modern. The only thing that the country is doing, few on there better go Falcon, no? Sa few on there a modern plane, what do I see? Was I want to say, oh, bottom. President Mahama obeju sika. Obi aba report this akwo document say President Mahama rent jet. NPP mu ya mwa mu mame. Obedwa. Petro na ye to egu Falcon nim na ye nya nto no. Ene na ye egu Ibrahim Mahama plane. Ibrahim Mahama ni plane na otumfo se tutu. Eri tu kwan kwa abrochi kohwe no ho yare. Adentina otumfo se tutu. Etu eye Ibrahim Mahama plane. Eri kwa abrochi kohwe no ho yare a. Enkwasiafo mo nka se ye nchi otumfo ntum. Adentra. Na so otumfo ye nyina na oya santeman hene gold nyina hye na ase. Adentina nka so otumfo gold tie mpene. The president's brother has a plane. As we wait for the presidential jet to be ready, I will advise the president to be using the president's brother's flights. They should buy petrol, fuel, whatever, and put inside. It is better than a president going to rent a jet. Kwasiampe na nanka form. Yadine dua di kwasi fridge so on to ntamo ka kire say ohia jet obedware wom. Today you are telling us say a Ghanaian has a flight, he has a plane. A president ni nua di anti because it belongs to Ibrahim Mahama anti. President Mahama enkofu nkukobuoru no nkowu kwasiafo edrumu so a na makofo akowu. Me say mon twain ba o me be di president a na say 2041 oba no be di president a na ye de Falcon ni besi wa twen no oba no abetu eno de kwasiafo mimi o plane ya papa chen Ghana plane no etumi tu kwan papa safety ni e better chen Ghana plane no na me mpese matam Ghana sika ko rent private jet me say minua no fa o plane ma me na petrol na meto egu nkukobuodum no ma me ntongu plane mu fa nko a mote Ghana say what problem ma bodam yetumi tina Ghana na ekufo the two plane no akọ Spain wakọhwe match no aba kwasiampanyi otumi for private jet no akọhwe Tottenham match no aba na enkwasiafo you tell yourself you are intellectuals, you are reasonable, you have been to school in some of you people will be dying na mo ba be wu a ye the plane ya bi na be fama kwa abrochi akọhwe mo. The stupidity of a black man na me de mo lucky kra na me ne John Mahama anka Ibrahim Mahama plane come me picture be bo ho. Yes, the also ya kotere no ombra me kan se me wan me picture my lucky crazy. Kwasiafo mo rented jet $17,000 every 60 minutes. For how many months? Ya catch him say, I didn't know mo rented jet. Mo ka say yen kwasiafo. John Mahama ko rented jet to ni nua dia. And ni nua ne do ne bra na say me mpesa kwa kofu nkukobuo na kowu because that Falcon is one. Even though almost my repair, you cannot trust it. So I have a plane. I'm also a Ghanaian. I'm a taxpayer. I love my nation. I did not go to the military, but I can also serve. So take my plane. Use the petrol now to be good for economy. Nafa go wemu, nafa kobra. Na kwasi for John Mahama call Korea no. Nebusia for meeting no kwa na Ghana for meeting no kwa. You are foolish people in Ghana. Mo NPP for muni munyansa. You are foolish people. Meteya, the stupid piglets in parliament calling themselves minority. President Mahama has broken the code. Me say, so we break the code now. Aya na mu be adwuma munja mu V8 ni sifie na mo fa trotro mbra afenyo ma kene ne nkwasiafo You are talking about breaking the code. Say mo be adwuma. Aya mo fa trotro na munya mu V8 ni sifie. Ade na munya mo pa V8 atene ma be adwuma MPs kwasiafo because you want safety. You want to live. Now obi oya president na nkofa nkokobuo meboa. At this point when there's no problem you don't call Jesus. Petro na ye de gba begu fa akoro me na de gu John Ibrahim Mahama play nim no. De on tia se no onko Hamas and I say Hamas. No go Petro bra. Me say me say Petro de begu nkukobuo na mo friend fa akoro nim no. Eno na ye de egu Ibrahim Mahama play nim. Mahama Ibrahim o di play na che o say yemfa nko. It is why also want to once and call Hamas and Hamas. Neko fa Petro bra. Na wa also very good play mu kwasiafo munim de ye. Jamama, with all due respect, replace the jata with your face. I don't know so you be as a usro. Everyday. Nyaminim na me mendi president. Nyaminim nanka we am kwei na mafa ketefo no mugum. Ai kete na mafa ketefo na makobalo bamboy makofa entafo no musa gonya sar no musu gum nipa 13 inti mi duru bebia na ye failure no mosi mo de jama ye adwuma utumi president utumi update wo computers ni ye adwuma inti nipa bi sa mo ntia se ade tina jama